You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 68 for April 2020. Welcome to the Polymaticast. If you want to follow along with us, polymatic.link/show68. But so John and I had just spent probably a half hour not talking about the things we're not talking about.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be our topic. He's like, so what should we talk about? I don't know. And he's like, well, I don't want to talk about the other thing. And I'm like, okay, great. And so we started talking about the things we're doing while we're not talking about the thing we're not doing.
Yeah, I think there's no way you can not talk about the things that are happening right now. So,
but we don't need to talk directly to them or about them.
But there's stuff that's funny that's showed up, and I think we can talk about that kind of stuff.
Sure. And, for me, I exist mostly in the house anyways. I guess my default position is I am very much an introvert a lot of times, though I am social. So I'm not like one of the polar examples of an introvert where they're like antisocial and they go into their I was thinking Lord of the Rings. I was thinking those homes. I couldn't think of the name of the place. But anyhow, the little hovel and don't come out until the morning, right? I sort of, that is my pattern, but then I get online. I'm doing all things on the computer. I'm podcasting. I'm coding. I'm whatever. It's my nature to go into the house and only come out when it's necessary. But I am happy to be social, so I'm not a polar example of an introvert. So this whole thing hasn't really changed my lifestyle too much, other than I get to officially work from home, and they take advantage of me just always being available because I'm going nowhere else. So the boundaries that once existed kind of don't exist anymore. So that is the only kind of difference for me. And then obviously
that's the only downside, I guess.
Yeah, and then getting food and all the whatnot. And the timing of this for me at work is one of the customers is merging with another one of our customers. So they're, so from our perspective, they're still our customer. They're just merging together. And so as a result of it, there's a lot of like evaluation of inventory and all kinds of stuff going on, and that's adding to the extra weight of the extra, people sort of breaking all boundaries of sort of, tapping me for stuff all day. I'm super busy related to work, despite being sort of at home. Yeah. And not being allowed to go anywhere anyways if I chose. So
and Alan's been looking at buying a rice cooker.
I've always been thinking about buying a rice cooker, and he's laughing because he's like, but I always do it the non-rice cooker way, and I am not used to doing it. Put a pot on the fire. But also, the couple of times where I tried to do it, I don't think I did it well or right, probably because I couldn't get a good set of instructions. Or I couldn't get the parts right.
Rice is one of the easiest things to cook ever. It's takes 15 minutes.
Yeah, so people say that. You say that. But I've also heard the opposite, which I think have been my experience, where it can be really, really easy to mess it up. And so I think the sort of lazy
I shall make a
side
YouTube video about that then.
That's good. I was referring to Alton Brown's video, one of his more recent ones. So if you go look at the Alton Brown channel, he did a pretty good job where I think, all right, maybe I'll try that. But the component I don't have right now is rice. So I need to sort that out and maybe give that a try. And maybe to everyone, to your point, I don't need a rice cooker. I could do it that way. Because one of those things I'm missing is rice. And I'm like, I can.
Yeah, but the cool thing about rice, you can mix in some egg,
right?
Scrambled eggs, some garlic and stuff like that, and then put it in the frying pan, fry it a little bit, and then.
Yeah, and that's exactly kind of like how I like, having some rice. So for me, and I'm not banning specifically Chinese food. I'm banning 99.9% all takeout, just to be careful, just to be safe. But anytime where I might do takeout every couple of weeks, I very inexpensively could add to my order a quart of white rice. And 1 quart of white rice.
That's your rapper name, right?
Yeah. Was like a buck and a half or something. So you could, ask for 2 quarts and that could last me like a month and a half. Well beyond whatever the dishes that I was, ordering for takeout. And so that was it. That's what I would do. I'd put a little butter and something else and a little salt, and I am good. I'm solid. I'm happy. And sometimes I would do a scrambled egg, and I would, work that in with the rice, and it was really good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I like it. So it's just coming back around to, okay, you got to start doing some things where you start cooking now and stop living off of processed things all the time.
Yeah, restaurant food.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really do that before. I ate simply, and most of the good normal nutrition I would get at work, right? I'd have a salad, or I'd have some entree where there's like, where the cafeteria was doing a really good job of cooking things. However, not going through that experience and even eating the way I'm eating now, my numbers have been pretty good as long as I don't go for like, a pound of candy. As long as I don't go for a little bit of the candy and have like too much, my numbers have been great. And it's because I'm reducing what I'm eating, and I'm not eating high carb, natural things that I was getting from work. So you didn't order any more candy? I didn't, because everything on Amazon, if you want to get anything, what is predominantly left, because anything's like the small order number ones, like, get a 3-pack of disinfectant wipes. No. Now you can get the restaurant size wholesale, pallet. You can buy that one.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe you should.
Well, no, I think most of those are gone now. So
you could just wrap yourself in them.
Yeah. So, so for me, I was like, all right, I need to get some snacks in the house, and maybe this is safer than like having someone food delivery or going into. This was in the early days of the crazy. So I ordered, here in the U.S., we have these little things called, they're like little crackers, but Petridge Farm goldfish. They're little fish-shaped crackers, goldfish shaped crackers, and they're good. So I was like, all right, I'll get some of those. And the box is like, oh, here's a snack pack, but there's like 200 in the box.
Ouch.
So 200 might be an exaggeration. It might be 100. And so I ordered one of those, among other things. And so that's been enough snack, one little snack size patch for,
Don't you have like a feeling
like
you need some like change, like different foods or whatever?
Oh yeah, sure. I change it up.
Yeah.
The thing that I was doing prior to everything, once a week I would go to the market, and they still have, they usually were doing like fresh cut fruit. So there'd be things like watermelon, obviously when it's in season, like pineapple chunks, cantaloupe, honeydew, and then mango spears. And so I like mango, but I don't really love mango exactly. And so one day it was very clear the watermelon was sort of not so fresh anymore, but still self-contained, sealed up in these containers. And I was like, normally my go-to is watermelon. So I was...
Yeah, I really don't like watermelon. It's not fun. Ugh.
When it's fresh, I love it. And so under this scenario, I was like, all right, I like pineapple, but pineapple's too much for me as a diabetic. And so I'll try some of these mango spears. They got fiber in them. There's lots of vitamin C. It's good. So I started eating the mango spears. So once a week I get the mango spears. The problem is, when all things were going down, everyone was like, just hoarding everything, and there was few options left. And so I took the last couple, and they were sort of not, one of the packages was not so good. It was like starting to get sour a little bit. And so I was like, it's not right. And I was like, I don't know what my food options are going to be. So I tossed it in the freezer. And then I popped it out a couple of days later, and I was like, I took one of the spears, and it was like, it's like a popsicle. Frozen fruit. I was like, I like that.
Food poisoning.
And I like frozen fruit, and it helps sustain it. And so the couple times that I've gone to the market in the last month, I've gotten some mango spears, and I've been tossing them in the freezer, and they've been perfect as a center point of change, something that's a change. It's good when I want something sweet and I need more vitamin C and need something healthy, and I need something that's going to, make me work to eat it, and let it chill for a sec, and then, have my popsicles. So that's been good. That's been a change for me. Some frozen mango spears. So It's weird, but I like it, and that's fine. That's good.
Meanwhile, I've started a farm.
A farm, not in Minecraft.
Not in Minecraft, not in Stardew Valley, and not in Animal Crossing either.
Right.
In my living room.
In your living room. Little garden.
Yeah, I'm growing some plants.
Yeah.
I've got peas, melon, pumpkins, tomatoes, 2 different kinds, and I got some other stuff. Sweet peppers, like bell peppers, kind of thing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So and
Well, sweet peppers and bell peppers are different things. One's much larger.
Something along those lines. And I've been cooking a lot more. I already cooked quite a bit, but now I started to pre-prep stuff. So I have fajitas. I have shawarma wraps, all sorts of other stuff. I have chashu, it's a Chinese style pork stuff with rice, with egg, and it's like I bought like 40 euros worth of stuff, and that all went in there. It's like maybe like 12 meals there. So yeah. I can't go to the Chinese place. Chinese place is closed, so might as well just figure out how they did the recipe and do it myself.
Right, I guess enters in the conversation about rice.
You
making more rice dishes.
Well, I already knew how to cook rice. I've been cooking rice since I was like really young.
Yeah, I haven't been.
It's cheap food. It's cheap. It's a good way to get the calories in you need.
And if you
have the right rice, you have a lot of fiber.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of depends on what kind of rice you have.
Yeah,
because some rice is like prepared to the death of it. It's like it's 0 content food.
Right. Yeah, that's the typically most white rice. Mm-hmm. Basically, all the nutrients are gone now. So. For the most part, yeah, and that's typically what I like. It's normally
you like the ones where all the nutrients are gone.
Yeah, but it's because that's where basically it's a vehicle for the butter and the salt, right, or the egg and the garlic. So yeah. Now with that said, maybe what I'll do is I've had like jasmine rice before. I've liked. And stuff like that. So maybe I'll get some long grain rice, and I'll get. I think it's normally what the options are. It's like brown rice or white rice, and I like brown rice less than I like white rice. So
depends how you cook it.
Right. So I think maybe the real issue is maybe there's other rice types that I might want to try, and not.
But just buy a bag from each type you want to try.
Right.
And you can make food for like the people in your neighborhood that are not like mobile, right? If they are.
No, everyone.
Not that you should, but.
Everyone in the neighborhood is except for the kids who are like 12 years old. Everyone is very mobile.
Yeah.
They're operating around here like as in nothing has changed. The kids are out there, parents are hanging out, chatting with each other.
Mm.
Um, I am just being extra hermit. That's all. Just to be extra safe.
You're the prepper guy in your neighborhood.
I'm not the well,
Without
not
food.
really, because I didn't have like 10 gallons of, you know, bottled water, and I did have extra stock of toilet paper or paper towels. Like I go through my buying cycles, and it's like every few weeks I'll buy an extra something just to have it, just to have extra stock. Nothing to do with knowing when the world's gonna, fall apart. That's my natural behavior with my buying patterns.
So when the toilet paper craze started, I was like, yeah, I already have all that stuff. I don't need to go. I like buy like once a year. Like at the beginning of the year, there usually is like a discount at my local
Oh, okay,
supermarket.
got it.
So they have like these giant, uh, like 48 roll bags. You just buy two of them, and then you're done for the rest of the
Oh
year.
yeah, I don't have that much, and I was like, well, where would I put it in the house? And then I look in the kitchen and I see what my roommate does. He puts piles of things everywhere, and he just like, well, I got a discount, I got a deal over at the warehouse place. I was like, okay, but you shouldn't be eating all that stuff. He's like, oh, I'll eat it whenever. So he's like well prepared. It's not the healthiest of things, but he's got
Well,
all
your
that
your
stuff.
cellar is filled with electronics, not as much jars
Um,
of food.
right now it's microphones and me and mixer board
But
and
maybe you
lots
can
of
pickle yourself.
lots of cables in the background here, and
Jars of candy.
yeah.
I do notice that I did buy some bags of M&Ms, and I was like, I was rationing them. Like I put them in a jar, and I was taking some M&Ms while I was working, and like putting them away. Like I don't want to eat too many of these, right?
Right.
So I've
Yeah.
lost like 3 kilograms in the last 2 weeks.
So even though I'm diabetic, there gets to a point where I'm doing well in my habits, and then I start to go into like a negative direction. And even though when you look at the numbers and you look at the chemistry of it, and you go, yeah, you're fine, but my body's convinced I'm having like, a panic attack.
Oh, maybe you
So,
are.
so because it's so calibrated to a higher number than what the normal number should be. So, you got to let it kind of get there and freak out a little bit. But sometimes that can be a big distraction. So having a little bit of candy is okay. Like having a couple, like maybe 5 or 6 at most, of like little Reese's Pieces or like little M&Ms is fine. And so what I was commenting about buying 4 pounds of candy, whatever it was, I literally was looking around. I was like, all right, what kind of candy can I just order from Amazon just to have around? This is, again, early days of everything going crazy. Just in case I need it because I really can't go out, or I'm not at work and I can't go to the vending machine if I'm in a need for something. So I ordered a small size, and the small size was like 4 pounds of Reese's Pieces. Big bag.
You can make that stuff yourself, right?
What, Reese's Pieces? I don't mean peanut butter cups. I'm talking the little like M&M like candies. Those
Yeah,
things are.
but you can make a lot of the candy stuff yourself.
Yeah, but I'm not going to. I would, given my work cycle and given my podcast cycle and
You
my
you
lack of sleep cycle, cooking is nowhere in the mix of any of those things.
Meanwhile, he's making cold brew.
Well, because that's easy for me to do. That's like
Yeah.
I've gotten it down to a pattern where it takes me, I don't know, it takes me about 5 minutes to prep the thing, and it takes me about 20, 25 minutes to work up, grind, do all the stuff, do all the prep, put everything together for 2 batches, and then I let it sit, and then I let it drain, and I go
Yeah.
off and I do
But
other things while
the
it's
thing is,
draining.
if you make these things yourself, you know what goes into them, so you can more calibrate it to what you
Sure.
need.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I think it's the thing with people staying at home, it gives people the opportunity to learn to cook,
Yeah.
learn to make things that they wouldn't normally do. And I think the electricity bill is going to go up a little bit because a lot of people are experimenting with stuff. And there's going to be more house fires for a while because people are burning their house down with
Are they really?
with food experiments.
I don't know. I mean, my roommate is present in the house majority of the day anyway. So like my power bill, it might go up a little bit, but I don't expect to go up significantly. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll find out when I get towards the end of the month where they're like, hey, you owe us like lots of money.
I am running. I turned it off just now, but I'm running the folding at home stuff.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, so I made a team for the company. There's like 2 people in it, me and another colleague. So yeah, we're getting up pretty high now. So
I didn't do any of that because I don't think any of my PCs are really, except for my personal laptop, would have any real power. And even my personal laptop's kind of out of date processor by
but the processor's
years.
not the one you want to run it on. You want to run on the video card. So if you have like a 1060
Right.
or 1080 or anything,
Right, yeah.
modern-ish.
And I got that, and that's fine, but it's usually part of my dock, which is majority of my day is attached to the work system. Because the dock that I have is compatible with my work laptop, and so when I am at work, I literally, out of the work, bag, move my personal laptop off to the side, plug my work laptop in, and pull out a corresponding mouse, and I'm good.
So I have
So I
a
literally
game
just-
PC with a widescreen monitor, and
Yeah.
I recently bought another one with the same brand.
Mm-hmm.
LG, by the way. LG, if you're hearing this, I'm throwing you under the bus.
Uh-oh.
So the first one I had at like some point just suddenly a bright line appeared in the middle of the screen. I was like, huh, is this burning or something? No, it's not burning. It's just in the exact middle of the screen. So I think something broke. So they replaced the panel. And you can still see like that they replaced the panel. You can see that they repaired it.
Yeah.
And then I thought might have been a fluke. The
So you
LG
bought
panels
another
are
one.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So I might just buy another one, but they didn't have that same one anymore. So they had one with HDR, right? I was like, okay, I'll get that one. It was not that much more expensive than the old one, but because of the price hiking that's been going on, it was a little bit more expensive. And suddenly, like 2 days in, I'm like, hey, why is that pixel green?
Uh-oh.
And that's one. And then I go looking, and then there's another one. And then like within 5 minutes, like 5-6 dead pixels. And they said the website I bought it from, they're like, yeah, you can fix those dead pixels by running this tool. It's like a website that really fast rotates the pixels, and that would fix a stuck pixel. But these guys were dead, so I ran it for like 20 minutes on every pixel. None of them were fixed. So I said, just send it back. I was like, yep, nope, this is not acceptable. It was like 2 days and it's already broken. So yeah, I'm not going to accept this.
So I think you got a bad batch. You're saying it's LG. I've only heard good things about LG.
Yeah. But like the thing is, this was it was still available when I bought it. It wasn't like this is the last one or something. But like 2 days after I got it, I wasn't able to buy a new one because they were all sold out. I'm unable to buy any monitor right now that is not lower than $400. And I'm not paying $400 for a monitor.
Right.
Because that's insane.
So I've had some pretty good success with monitors. So I think there is one monitor which I still have, which is in sort of the part of the basement that I never really go into, that I had for I don't know how many years, ran basically the first OG. It was like a video server, also sort of ran OG stuff that I did. And it was I think it was probably my first LCD monitor, and it was one that you could rotate and whatever, and so it was real useful. And eventually some pixels sort of became dead. They weren't dead out of the box. So otherwise, I've had some pretty good luck. I
think I could have lived with like a dead one. Like if it's totally dark, I probably could have lived with it.
Yeah.
Because it's less noticeable. Mm-hmm. But if it's like stuck on, like the background, the entire surrounding of that is like a hue of purple or something like that, and then it's bright green. Yeah, I'm gonna notice that one.
Yeah, I've not had that problem.
Anyway, so I have a setup with like 2 monitors now with the widescreen at the bottom, and then there's a Philips monitor at the top. And I'm gonna send you my setup over Telegram.
Yeah,
and I have my MacBook for work hooked up to that, and I can easily switch between the 2 environments because I have a USB hub hooked up to a USB switcher, so I can switch between two machines.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I literally turn one off and the other. But if I know I'm going to get pestered a bunch of times, like in the middle of the night, what I've been doing is when the workday is over and it seems like I don't need to be continually working because no one's going to need me around, for something. I have literally just put it to the side. It's still connected by VPN, and I move everything to the side of my desk and let it sit there for a few hours and just monitor. There's nothing going on that everyone needs and then I turn off. And of course, if I checked it now, I bet you when I turned it off exactly the minute after, I turned off the thing, someone probably emailed me, but no one's called me, so that's good.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, are you on call?
It's like almost a permanent problem.
Well, depends. Are they paying you to be on call? Well,
no. The way here in the U.S. they just kind of defunk it as, your salary.
So what do you think of my setup now?
Well, you got 2 extra monitors. I didn't keep the image up. I'm gonna have to go back in and look. Hold on.
Well, I did send you a video of it before the I think like a week ago or something. Anyway, my goal for this was to have like a good like 2 widescreen monitors, so I could do the because in Mac OS you can now do the attach it to this side of the screen like you can do in Windows.
Oh yeah.
So the snapping.
So they didn't have that in Mac OS?
Sort of.
Really? Okay. Because that's always been in Windows for, I don't know how long, but it's been there forever.
I think it's in Windows 10, but don't take my word for it because I haven't been on Windows in a while. And well, I've been on Windows with this machine for a while, but like I don't use it daily.
On a day-to-day, yeah. So, yeah, no, it's always been easy. You can just position it wherever you want. Even it'll have to snap together, I mean, if that's something you need.
Well, I've been using it like during my stream, so I can put the map on one side of the monitor in the top, and then on the other side I can have the chat or whatever.
So one of the things, and I utilize this at home as well as at work. I utilize sort of the Windows snapping a lot. So I'll sort of split my screen, and so I have an extra sort of multi-monitor app that I like called Display Fusion, which allows me to like play around with the wallpapers and stuff, so I could spread it across or do different changing ones per monitor or whatever. But it also has this feature where you can kind of compartmentalize, like, so when you get a super ultra wide screen, you could kind of tell it to treat the monitor a certain way so that you could snap your windows like if they're complete 3 separate monitors. And so Microsoft has they used to have these things called Power Toys, so they've updated it's in beta, I think beta 16 right now, and they have been releasing that on GitHub. You can download and install it, and one of the things is they have these things called fancy zones, so you can now further take a monitor and you can grid it, break it up however you want, and create your own little fancy zones, and you can sort of latch your windows into the different. They're all like square shapes. There's none of it where it's like, push this into a circle and a triangle and a star. It's not doing anything like that, but it will allow you to break it up into grids or various zones if you want, and then you can. I've been sort of snap centering it in the middle where it's like 60%, in the middle here and this and that on the monitors, and I can just latch a window into a zone on a monitor however I want.
I'll have to look into that because I have one of those ultra wides at the bottom. So
yeah. It's called Windows Power Toys. It's on GitHub, and there's an installer available for you.
Yeah, last power toy I used was the sync toy thing.
Yeah, this doesn't.
That went dead.
This thing has like maybe three things in it. It's not on this. It's on my laptop, but that's not on right now. Fancy Zones is one of them, and then I forget what the other two are. I think one of them is if you hold down the Windows key, you can turn it on. It'll gives you all the shortcuts. And then there's a third one. Well, for the life of me, I can't remember what the hell that was.
Anyway.
Yeah. Aside from tangents. But
I can hook up my MacBook to it. I still have to upgrade to the newest OS.
Yeah. For me, somewhere along the lines is I plan on redoing my sort of desk office upstairs, and part of that sort of starting the process was I was intending to buy one of these ultra wides.
Yeah.
Originally I was going to buy one of these 50-inch ones because that's kind of like what I had before, but I was like, that's too big.
Yeah, that's way too big.
I think I can get away with physically a 38-inch, but I was going to latch on some monitor arms so that if I need to move it away so I could, let's say, see the TV in the background or something, that I could do that. And then while I was at it, I was also going to start taking the upstairs office desk and start sorting it out in such a way where I'm not really using the laptop keyboard or the laptop monitor. It's not really integrated in my normal daily. Like it's docked, and everything else is sort of just, common mouse, common, keyboard through that whole process with a big monitor, and trying to clean up my desktop so it's, cable managed well, and that I've set it up for being able to podcast up there and do streaming up there and whatnot. So I have it on my brain to, once I get some big expensive, vehicle in my life soon, that's sort of in the list of things to buy next, do next. So,
well, there's a lot of people that have been going to like home improvement stores, and there's a lot of you can hear it in the background here. Lots of grinding and sawing and all sorts of other home improvement noises in the background. Yeah, that's people have been going crazy on their balconies here. I've actually been thinking about doing something like that to like at least make my balcony ready for actual use. I've lived here for 8 years already. Almost 8 years? Yeah. Almost 8 years.
Never used it.
And I still haven't used my balcony in all that time.
Yeah, is it a lot of footage? Like big? How big is it?
Cause it's not a small balcony.
Yeah.
No.
I have a deck in the back of the house. My neighbor uses theirs a lot. I don't use mine at all. To the point when I finally one day end of last year, I was just checking out the health of the deck to see, because I know it was sort of getting old. And I was like, I'm going to check this out. And so I got up to the third step I came in from the outside, not from the inside of the house through the porch, door or whatever it is. And it sort of has been rotting because the person who did it before didn't seal it well. So my landlord got it resolved, and for the most part, had someone rebuild it, and it's pressure treated, and she didn't seal it right away because she was told by whoever did it for her not to do that. And my neighbor had his is like in perfect shape, impervious to everything because he sort of is handy capable, and he understood that like after the first couple months, like as long as it doesn't rain or anything, as soon as it's dry, you gotta just seal that thing up. And my landlord didn't want to do that because he was taking the guidance of the person who redid
so that he
deck.
could do it again.
Probably. So the deck is sort of natural wood, and then combined with the parts of the deck that didn't need to be replaced, and still red. And so I never use it anyways. But I just thought like, well, it's a hazard, so maybe that should be, from her perspective as an investment, something that should be addressed. And she understood that, and she took care of it. And so it's not my nature to want to utilize that anyways. Even when I had a different deck at the last house, I never used it. I rarely ever cooked anything on the grill.
Well, there's no grill on it. Grilling in an apartment complex over here would be
yeah. And I could totally buy a grill and grill. I got plenty of room on the deck. But no, I don't use it at all, to be honest. I live hermit life.
Yeah, I think I need to, like, if this is gonna take a long time, I might as well just take care of some stuff, decorate it a little bit. And my plants are gonna go out there, so that's where my most of the stuff is gonna go.
I think I figured out the title: Hermit Life.
Hermit Life.
I said it enough times, and I was like, I think that's very fitting.
Yeah.
What else have we been not doing that we don't talk about? One thing I can tell you here in the U.S., Amazon, with the movie, because movie theaters basically can't operate. Some of the movies that were in the theaters were, normally going to be milked for like 6 months in the theaters, or milked for 3 months, and then you won't get it until Christmas time. These things are, some of them are available for buy and or rent through Amazon Prime. And and I went looking last night, so I added to rent 1917 because I think it was still in the theaters, and I had seen so many like neat visual effect behind the scenes filmography things about it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna totally watch that. But I saw Onward is listed there, which I didn't put in the list. I didn't feel like it.
Isn't that a Pixar thing? Isn't that going to be on Disney Plus? Yeah, it's going to be in Disney Plus. Yes.
Eventually. So here's the thing with Disney Plus: some of the things that have been out of the theaters, would they would have normally have made available, you would think, in a timely manner on Disney Plus. They're sort of holding on to it. They're chilling till Christmas time or until they make all their money, and then. So you think like, it's going to be out of the theaters. It's going to be on.
Let me hold you up right there.
Is it
Onward
on Disney
is going to be is on Disney Plus since yesterday.
Oh, okay, good, perfect. So they must have changed their tune on it, because there were a couple things that had been out of the theaters for months, and I know that they're waiting for people to purchase things at Christmas time, and then you look at, they say, oh, this won't be available until January of next year. I'm like, oh, so maybe they've changed their tune on it, and it's now just available on Disney+.
I just hope that they put Rise of Skywalker on Disney Plus soon, or at least like have it be available.
I saw it available. At the very least, I think for rent, if not buy directly on Amazon. Well. But I didn't check Disney Plus in a while, so maybe there's a lot more stuff on there now for me to watch.
I looked at iTunes.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was anything.
Yeah, no, I usually check like Amazon Prime if I'm going to rent something online. But that's kind of neat. I'd like to see more of those options like that. Not saying that I would be down with movie theaters, though I would like more of those options available to me streaming. Yeah, it's nice to sit in a movie theater and do something with friends and whatever, and that's cool. But I'm given my hermit life. I would also like to not have to go out and do anything,
Yeah.
whether I can drive on my own or not. I mean, that was my behavior years ago. It still is my behavior, except now we have lots of digital streaming choices, and it seems like a lot more now. So
But a
I'm
lot of the movies seem to be getting on like the streaming services and other like for rent or for buy. So
yeah.
earlier than they would normally be.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad outcome. I hope they don't change that.
Well, I wonder what's going to happen to the movie theaters because they're going to go down.
Well, so what they've been doing, at least here in the U.S., is a lot of them have been trying to turn themselves into more boutique situations, where you have a lot more food options and even liquor options, wine options, and big old lazy boy like seats with big old RPX. 4DX or whatever it is, crazy experiences. There is, at least in Texas, there's a place called Alamo Draft House. So they were
Yeah,
like a
I've heard about that.
microbrewery, and then they basically had, I've never been to one, but I heard that they basically had one big movie they would play at night, and you could go there and you could watch the movie while you had dinner in a sit-down restaurant. And then they had a couple of those and they became real popular. And then AMC here in the US has been trying to copy that, but they're a franchise. And so there's one out here that I've never been to that I heard was basically doing the same kind of thing. You could sort of drink beer, get drunk, have some food, and watch a movie. And I know that's a popular thing with my roommate. He's been doing that, but I've never been to it. And then the ones that are close to me, they have more. They have other food options that are, you could get a little bit more like fast food meal options from them compared to just like pretzel nuggets and popcorn, and box of candy.
Candy.
They also, when they built the place, I don't know, a couple decades ago, they had a second side of it past where you give them the ticket. They had a whole set of area on the other side where you could get snacks and whatever it is, food from them, and all of that extra cooked stuff. And they had an area where they could serve liquor, but they never utilized it. Now they've activated it. So just before
Are cinemas still open?
so I don't know in the world of this crazy, but just prior to the crazy, they were.
Yeah, of
and
course,
that was
but,
when the
like-
world knew about the problem, but America was in denial.
America.
Yeah, so that I forget what I saw, but I saw something with Matt Pison. For the life of me, I can't remember what the movie was, but it was something was in theaters that we both saw and was good. And I saw that people were waiting on the other side past where they gave their ticket. They were waiting for liquor and food and beer and like extra, entree.
It's more like
for
a
them
restaurant type deal.
Yeah, but they're not sit-down seats in the theater. They're just normal movie chairs. They're extra comfortable movie chairs, right? They're
With
kind of
room
lazy.
for plates.
Yeah, no room for plates.
Did they float? This is like the Wall-E floaty chair people.
No. But, if they could do that, they would. But for me, I don't need to have a movie experience to watch a movie. I'm happy to watch
I wonder
it at home.
if there's going to be stuff like if you want to do this, but like with VR or something like that. I think that might eventually take off a little bit more.
Sure, but I think VR has to take off more.
Impossible right now to get a VR rig.
Yeah, but I think VR needs to take off more than it does. It's been a thing. It still exists, but it's not as a talking point as much as it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I was looking at getting one of those Oculus Quest type deals because you can hook them up to a PC.
And then you can Minecraft with it.
No, actually, I was going to play, what was that game? There's a space sim style game. I have like a controller and stuff for that kind of stuff, but I never actually got into it because it's more fun with VR. So
yeah,
it's one of those Elite Dangerous.
What was the one that is you're a submarine?
Oh, yeah, Subnautica.
Yeah, so someone gifted that to me on Steam. I have it, and that includes the VR edition, but I've never played the game. I have so many Steam games that I've forgotten about that I have not played, including that one.
Yeah, I was going to give you Animal Crossing for the Switch, was like, yeah, he's not going to play it.
I haven't turned it on for Fire Emblem yet. I need to play that. And what I've been doing with these Saturdays is they're been sort of semi-productive. I still have a film to kind of get through, so I've been trying to make sure I don't play. I was watching a film last night, a documentary for something, and I was playing balloons on the side. I'm paying attention to it, but for some reason my brain's like, no, you got to do something else too. And so I'm playing like Bloons TD6, but I'm playing it. But I'm marginally paying attention to the game. I'm paying more attention to the movie.
The Animal Crossing thing has gone to a point for me that I was playing it up till late, and the entire night I had dreams about catching tarantulas.
Yeah, I heard
the most valuable bug in the game.
Yeah, I heard you were saying they go for
bells.
Yeah, they go for bells. Would I like the game and would I play it? Probably. But I have other responsibilities, and I think that's the core thing. And it's not because I'm trying to be anti-Animal Crossing while everyone is into Animal Crossing. It's because there are other games for me to play, and there are other things for me to do, and I need to do those things first. I'm trying to have sort of a priority and sort of an organizational discipline for my responsibilities.
And that's what I like about Animal Crossing. It's because you can just put it down. There's no need to do more than you want to do.
Right.
There's no, you gotta water these plants or they're gonna die, like in Stardew or something like that.
Right.
There's nothing that requires you. You can skip time, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
It's real time. So if it's night, it's night.
And everyone keeps saying that, like, Alan, but, you could. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm trying not to, period. Plus, also, it's money. I know it's only $60.
I spent like 2 hours yesterday doing that thing with the tarantulas. Just because I thought it was a fun little project.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's the same thing with Minecraft. There is, I learned to build some discipline into Minecraft for a little bit, and then I am done. However, 4 hours could go by, but that could be because I'm working on a project that I want to work on, and I need to do various things and effort towards it to be able to achieve those things, and that's where, I Minecrafted instead of working on the film, right?
Yeah.
So I've done enough of those where I feel guilty, where I know that, like, tonight I need to work on the film. I also need to start a programming project, and that's always been on my brain, and film usually eats up all the time in place of. So, I'm up today.
I still have an art book to finish.
Yeah. So I just, there are other things for me to do, and then when I get to gaming, something I've already paid for, I have Fire Emblem to play.
Yeah.
And while it's everyone's like, but Alan, Animal Crossing's hot. We're all playing Animal Crossing right now. You need to be one of us. is sort of the thing that I keep hearing from everybody at me. And I'm like, that's fine. I'll do it when all of you are bored with it. I'll do it when I feel like it.
I'm not going to say anything about this. It's like, yeah.
You got to do it when everyone's on it. I know, because I can visit everyone's town, and I can see how everyone's designing their stuff, and realize how I should change my kitchen, and and add expenses and pay the fourth mortgage, and like I get it, but I'm just I gotta not know all these things, so I'm not thinking about them.
So do you want to do the fun stuff now?
Yeah, let's do the fun stuff. So you know what? Let's just summarize it. All the things that people are doing while they're not doing it, now that they have an excuse not to be, they're being told not to go outside. They're just playing Animal Crossing.
Yep.
And those who don't have a Switch because they can't get one, or there's some obscure exchange process from their local GameStop or electronics boutique. They are watching movies on Amazon Prime or marathoning everything on Netflix.
Well, there's a lot of people that still like. Well, I can get a Nintendo Switch tomorrow if I wanted to, but I already have one, so I don't really need one. And I wouldn't want to buy like one of those Switch Lites because of the controller issues.
Mm.
So, but you can get one, and there's definitely ones on like the local Craigslist alternative or eBay alternative.
Well, I mean, look, I have one, so I'm good. And if I want to get Animal Crossing, I can buy it. But also, again, I have Fire Emblem play. I still haven't finished Breath of the Wild. I wasn't really playing it with the goal to ever really finishing it so much as just playing it, because it sounded like, like the game to have for the Switch if you're first buying your Switch. And it's a good game.
It is great.
But I'm not good at these extra, like, those
work simulators.
No, the side shrines.
Oh,
some of those are real. Some of those are extra tough, and then and I was like, and I don't have enough time on my hands. I got other things to do, and so that's why I haven't really ever finished the game. So if I'm gonna turn on the Switch, it's got to be Fire Emblem.
Anyway, so
fun stuff. Okay, I guess I got the first one. So the YouTube algorithm has been pushing a lot of people who do things with resin, and then also people who do things with lathes. And now they found a person who does things with lathes and resin.
I think like at some point the YouTube algorithm figure out that we know each other. Oh, they've been sending like stuff.
Because you've seen this video?
No, not this one specifically, but they
same YouTuber.
No, but like similar with lathes and stuff. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I have a good one. I have a lot of good ones I want to share, but I was like, I had to stop. I have a really long list again. So anyhow, so the title is what if I filled this with epoxy resin? So all I can say is this person made a pretty neat bowl. Polymatic.media/TD. And I've seen, if not this person, someone else's channel where I'm starting to watch their older videos, and I'm just loving all the weird things you see where they start, and you're like, that's a lot of work for what they just did. How are they gonna? What I got to see how this is gonna come together. Because it starts with like a bunch of parts, and then the parts get glued together, and then they get attached, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, that's 20 minutes of awesome.
Yeah,
just watching this person
probably
go from
took longer than 20 minutes.
Well, this video was one of those cases where it's like, what are they building? I gotta see what they're building. Oh, that's interesting. What are they gonna do with that? How are they gonna turn that into what I think they're turning it into? So anyhow, that's one of those videos. Polymatic.link/TD. Yeah.
There's a new expansion coming new version of Minecraft coming, and there's some new mobs in that They're called Zoglins. This is Captain Sparkle's Polymatic.media for a video about Zoglins.
Yeah, I guess when you are done with Animal Crossing, you can always play Minecraft.
I played some Minecraft today.
Yeah, I only came in to check to make sure that the reboot to the server didn't didn't mess any of my main stuff I was
what
working
happened
on.
is last Monday they restarted. They moved the server, and then on Thursday morning, I think it was, I logged in to check on it, and they had me select the type of server. So I think that something went wrong there, and I think 3 days of stuff went poof.
Oh, yeah, and I've been on I came in, did a thing probably last weekend for a moment. And
that's all safe.
Then
this is definitely from
out.
Wednesday afternoon until
I saw some commentary in
Thursday.
Discord where people are like, "Oh, people are going to have to rebuild their habit trails." And I'm like, "What?"
No. This we were talking about restarting the map.
Oh, yeah.
Not like if something were to break, we would restart the map.
Then there was that conversation that was happening. Yeah. But anyhow, Zoglins. Polymatic.link/TJ. Okay, so if you don't have an abundance of things to watch on YouTube, but you need something chill, will they tap it? Polymatic.link/TE. I found a channel that is just a person filming their cats doing things, but this one involves dominoes.
Okay, that's Polymatic.link/TE.
Yeah.
And then I have a link for Alan. That's something that he might like, a game. It's like Factorio, but in 3D. So Polymatic.link/TK, Satisfactory. Somebody's built a human cannon where they launch themselves.
All right,
they're basically like trying out to break the game.
What's the 3D one that someone gifted me that is the person doesn't really play Minecraft, but they were referring to it as, the Block Rock something. Does that sound familiar?
Nope.
It's a game where you basically are a miner who's on a planet, and you are digging three-dimensionally through tunnels, and you're killing bugs.
Nope,
Black Rock Galactic, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was okay. I played it for a little bit. I was not as interested in it. I was more interested in playing Minecraft. But,
okay, so Satisfactory, Polymatic.link/TK.
Yeah, okay. I'll check it out. Sorry. Okay, so this is just one of those videos I thought was pretty good from Great Big Story. How Suzanne Vega song helped create MP3. Polymatic.link/TH. First thing, good song. Good extended version of the song. I had a friend who had the actual album before.
What I think was weird about this that they didn't actually tell us what they did to fix the problem they were having. I think that's the whole.
Yeah, right. You're right.
This fixed it, but how? Like, tell us the thing.
Well,
tell us why it was a problem.
Right. They used that song as a base reference for tweaking and tweening the quality to
I understand,
compression.
But tell us what the problem was.
Yeah,
they were having.
Great Big Story videos are short, nothing. But for most people, that will be trivia, useful trivia for them. Also, good song. You should listen to the song. I like this song. I have it somewhere.
And now an Animal Crossing link. Tom Nook is a cult leader. This is Evan and Caitlin playing games. Like the Evan and Caitlin that make DIY, not DI with a Y, but with WHY. Right? Most of their stuff is, do you need to make this? Anyway, Tom Nook, they play games as well. Polymatic.link/TN for their first playing of Animal Crossing.
Okay, so I got a short film called Rebooted, Polymatic.link/TG, and pretty good. I shoot it on one of many Discords that I am on, and other people seem to agree. It's pretty good. There's if you follow the YouTuber or you check the YouTuber's channel, you can also see a behind the scenes of how he and group had created the film.
I have one for Minecraft Dungeons. This is Captain Sparkles once again. Polymatic.media. This is the new game that's coming out from Mojang. It's basically a Diablo style top-down hack slash type deal.
Okay.
Gathering stuff.
I'll have to take a look at it. I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah, it might be fun to do like a co-op type thing when it comes out. Especially if you're not used to Diablo or something like that. It might be fun to do with more than one person. Because they made it multiplayer first, so that's pretty cool. Polymatic.media for that.
Okay, so this one's interesting. This is really more for John. So this is a video, so Polymatic.link/TI, where the person is basically trying to compare the Earth in Minecraft 1-to-1 scale. And I don't know, it was kind of interesting. I watched this. I watched this a while ago, so this has been in my bookmark list for a bit. So, John, did you watch this? What's your opinion on it?
I had already seen it, and I recently posted a second video about how they opened up a Discord, and he's in charge of the thing, and I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to partake in this because they're still figuring out how to do the map.
Right, so. to build this map and do a 1-to-1 and recreate the Earth basically in Minecraft.
Yeah, and then they want to do they want to build the cities and stuff in real size, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. It's worth checking out if you like Minecraft stuff. So Polymatic.link/TI.
Okay, then we got some music.
Yeah, okay, so there's a couple artists that I follow. There's a bunch of artists that I follow. And, with all this time at home, I haven't been utilizing the ability to, play Spotify, which is, shame on me. I'm not accustomed being able to do that at work, so I don't ever think about doing that when I am working. Lately, I've been keeping my sort of work time as quiet as possible. But with that said, this is an artist that I discovered, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago that I generally pretty like. And there's new stuff coming out. And this is artist called Dagny and Polymatic.link/TC. I guess this is the World is Crazy Right Now edition based on how the video, there's very few people in it. But I don't know, I still like that. I still like the song too. So it's a good song. Polymatic.link/TC. for Dagny. And then this is also from a YouTuber that I follow that does music stuff occasionally. The dancing is interesting. The video is interesting. It's called White Lies by Darren. Polymatic.link/TF. So that's it. That's all the music I got. What about you, John?
So last Saturday? Yeah, last Saturday. We had a discussion on your patron-only podcast called After the Show.
Yeah.
That's you should probably get a link for that at some point. We were discussing Picard, and one of the things we discussed was the song being sung by one of the actresses in the actual show. Yeah. And that's Blue Skies by Isa Briones. Polymatic.link/TL.
Yeah, cool. I'll have to check that out. Is that her singing or just the music?
It's her singing, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I knew that. I mean, I knew that she sung that in the finale. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Where can they find you, Alan?
You don't need to find me, but you can if you need to on Twitter. CHAESS is my last name. Don't at me.
Hashtag Hermit Life.
Hermit Life, yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at WebDevy, WEBDEVVIE. For feedback, you can reach us at podcast@Polymatic.media. And I should really open that mailbox once in a while. The music is by Say Uns, which you can find at polymatic.link/ek. Our Twitter is @thepolymatic. Our website is Polymatic.media, and I hope you tune in next time.